Make sure to follow my Instagram at Marspeed_official, where I'll answer all your questions and DMs.
Hey guys, so here's part 2 of my Dodge concept car series. So these concept cars are cars that Dodge designed, produced, and even showed off at auto shows, but then they canceled them and we never actually got to buy them or even drive them. And today's video is going to look at 4 really cool concept cars from Dodge that never made it to the factory for whatever reason, but we can see what could have been if these cars were on the roads or in our driveways. Make sure to click the top right corner or the link in the description for part 1 if you missed it, where I covered the Copperhead, M80, Razor, and Sidewinder, and let me know if you want more videos on this topic like a part 3. Let's get into it.
Dodge PowerBox 2001. The Dodge PowerBox is first on the list. This is a big, intimidating, and rugged SUV that is also a hybrid, first unveiled at the 2001 Greater Los Angeles Auto Show. Dodge wanted to evolve their muscular truck look, and this clearly has some Dodge DNA. Just look no further than the crosshair grille, or the large separate drop fenders which were taken from the styling from the 1946 Power Wagon. The aim of this SUV was to provide customers with the option of an environmentally friendly vehicle without sacrificing the need for power, and the PowerBox provides similar power to other V8s such as the Dodge Durango, but also gets 60% better fuel efficiency at the same time. There's also a ton of space inside the PowerBox. Dodge was going for a wide open concept, and there's swing sliding rear doors, seat belts that are built into the seats, and rear seats that fold down flush with the floor. The PowerBox seats 8 people and actually has 24% more interior space than the Durango, which only seats 7. Another thing we haven't seen before is a lift-tail combo gate. So this is a patented design where you can either lift the tailgate up or drop the tailgate down for extended cargo length, and the standard wheels are 20 by 8 inches in all 4 corners. So now let's look at performance. The PowerBox has 2 different power sources. There's a 2.7-liter supercharged V6 engine that runs on compressed natural gas, and that makes 250 horsepower. This engine has a 4-speed automatic transmission and goes to the rear wheels. And there's also a Simmons Automotive electric motor as well, providing an extra 70 horsepower to the front wheels. So overall, it's basically all-wheel drive with a total of around 320 horsepower when you combine the two. Unfortunately, there's no information on torque numbers. And overall, the SUV gets a solid 25 miles per gallon, not bad for that power. And the electric motor helps the engine during acceleration and recaptures energy lost during deceleration, but the engine and that motor are not connected in any way. The PowerBox weighs just under 4,000 pounds. It can go 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7 seconds flat, with a top speed of 120 miles per hour. In my opinion, this is a beastly SUV that looks so mean, but also has some useful features. Plus, getting 25 mpg along with 320 horsepower is really solid as well. It's too bad this was never released, but I guess it might have cannibalized the Durango sales, which was already out at the time. And we later got Ram and Durango hybrids anyways, but still it would have been sweet to see these on the roads, with different colors and mods done to them. Dodge Super 8 Hemi, 2001. The Dodge Super 8 Hemi combines a bunch of different classic and modern Dodge designs, and was first shown off at the 2001 North American International Auto Show. It was featured in the video game Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix, and Hot Wheels also made some scale models of it. This car got a lot of inspiration from the 1950s. The name Super 8 Hemi comes from the popular Super 8 camera from the 1950s, and the Dodge Hemi engines of the past. This Super 8 Hemi has a Hemi engine, which we'll talk about in a second, but at this point in time, the Hemis that we see now were not yet available. This 5-seat sedan had a really unique and retro design. There's a windshield that wrapped right up over the roof, reverse A-pillars, no B-pillars, and an arching C-pillar. A panoramic roof and 22 by 10 inch wheels were added to top off the look. The front of the car had a crossbar grille and quad headlights, similar to the designs of the Magnum and Charger front ends that we saw a couple years later. The interior is really nostalgic, looking extremely retro. There are retro gauges, a jukebox stereo system, and jet turbine vents. The transmission is also operated by buttons. The transmission tunnel under the stereo system is also really cool and kind of looks like a jet engine that's coming right through the floorboards. And even the steering wheel is a classic and simple 3-spoke design made of wood and plastic. There was also a thing called passenger priority design, where higher seats made the passengers feel more in control, and the rear seats were actually higher than the front seats, kind of like a movie theater. Even the rear doors also open up the opposite way. On that ancient-looking stereo, there was actually some new technology, Chrysler's high-tech Infotronic infotainment system, which had some pretty awesome features, especially for 2001. You could get navigation maps, an internet-linked system where you could do things such as activating or disabling your home security camera, home appliances, or even checking email, which is pretty neat. There was an Infotronic speech recognition and text-to-speech telematics technology, which I think would be kind of like a basic Siri. And the front screen was a 6.4-inch screen, and passengers got two 8.4-inch touchscreens mounted on the front seat backrests. And the passengers had the option to play online trivia games with other passengers in the car, or even with a player in another vehicle. So now let's look at the performance of the Super 8 Hemi. The Super 8 came with the 5.7-liter V8 Hemi. This was a new concept for the engine as well. As I've said, it's been around for a while now, but in 2001 it wasn't out yet. Chrysler ended up releasing this 5.7 Hemi in 2003 for the Dodge Ram trucks, and it has been around ever since. But the 5.7-liter Hemi on the Super 8 was projected to make 353 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque, and it got paired with a 4-speed automatic transmission with auto stick. 0 to 60 happens in 5.7 seconds, and the quarter mile in 14.1 seconds, and the car can reach a top speed of 154 miles per hour. The Super 8 came in rear-wheel drive and had a curb weight of 3,600 pounds. And for handling, there was a 5-link coilover setup for the rear shocks. So when I see this car, I just think it's a huge blast from the past. I've never seen a design like this, and while it's not perfect, it's just so unique and retro looking that I really love it. The inside literally reminds me of a 1950s diner, and it combines modern and retro designs perfectly. Although it's too bad we never got to see this big sedan, it did pave the way for future models, like the Chrysler 300, which was released 2 years after this concept car, and the Dodge Charger and Dodge Magnum, so I guess we can't complain too much. Dodge Sling Shot. The Dodge Sling Shot was made to target the younger generation, and was released at the 2004 New York International Auto Show. This is designed to be a bold, entry-level sports car that is practical, affordable, and also a good driver's car. If this looks familiar to you, it's because it shares the same chassis as the Smart Roadster, which was produced from 2003 to 2007. There's an open-air design with either a hardtop or canvas roof. For the hardtop, you can take off the roof and just store it in the trunk. The canvas roof will slide back and out of the way. And the interior is artful and simple, but it's also pretty cramped with no room behind the two seats. Other features include rack and pinion steering, 4-wheel independent suspension, and 4-wheel disc brakes. Even though this is labeled as a sports car, it doesn't quite perform like one. The engine is a 1.3-liter 3-cylinder gas engine that makes only 100 horsepower and is paired with a 5-speed sequential manual transmission. The engine is also rear-mounted, and even though there's a very small amount of power, the car only weighs 1,740 pounds. But the 0 to 60 time is still a very slow 10 seconds flat. Even though there isn't much power, the gas mileage is very good as the car gets 45 mpg. To me, this could have been a success as it was both very fun to drive, especially with the open top, and affordable for young people. It would have had to have been really cheap though, and at the end of the day, this car is extremely slow, with similar 0 to 60 times to a Toyota Yaris or Prius for comparison. Dodge was also having trouble trying to fit the car to American safety standards without adding too much weight, which would have slowed the car down even more. The car did have some sneaky good looks, but at the end of the day, it was never really considered for production. Dodge ZEO 2008. The Dodge ZEO is a 2+2 sport wagon, and the ZEO stands for Zero Emissions Operation, as this is an all-electric car. This was one of the first sports-focused battery electric concepts seen in the automotive industry, and a glimpse of the future at the time since it was only 2008. And it was revealed at the 2008 North American International Auto Show. According to Dodge, the aim of the ZEO was to be a new, responsible breed of muscle car for the 21st century that challenges the traditional boring designs of electric or hybrid cars. This car is geared towards driving enthusiasts who want a high-tech and high-performing vehicle. This car offers environmental responsibility, and it can also go pretty fast. The ZEO delivers power through the electric motor system, a lithium-ion battery pack, and also has a type of range extender, such as a gas or diesel engine, that will only turn on when the battery is almost drained. A muscle electric wagon is something we really haven't seen before, and the exterior is breathtaking and aggressive. The A-pillars curve into the roof rails and run along towards the rear of the car, and the front windshield continues up in a curving plane almost towards the rear of the car, giving all passengers inside a very nice all-around open concept view of the outside. The C-pillar is reverse angle, located right over the rear wheels, and we still have the same traditional Dodge crosshairs, this time lit up by LEDs, along with a very long hood. The ZEO has scissor doors for all 4 doors, and the headlights and taillights both use kind of the same design, just slightly modified, and these headlights kind of remind me of the 2011 and onwards Chrysler 300 headlights. The wagon comes in ZEO orange body paint, and the beltline that goes around the entire lower part of the car is in dark silver. In all 4 corners you can find massive 23-inch wheels, 23 by 8 inch up front, and 23 by 9 inch in the back. The ZEO interior is loaded with technology and designed to appeal to youthful buyers. When you first look at it, this design blends all the parts of the interior into one piece, including a center console that runs right through the whole interior. The center console screen and electronics seem to resemble the look of an older cell phone. Not sure if this is what Dodge intended to do. Most of the interior is wrapped in white fabric, and there's also a narrow strip of blue LED accent lighting that runs along the doors. The fabric color is super white, and there's also contrasting black carpets and copperhead colored stitching all over the interior. Instead of a built-in dashboard, the steering wheel column and instruments are totally separated. The steering wheel has only 2 spokes, which leaves the rest of the space open so you can see the instrument cluster better. There are also paddle levers behind the wheel that operate the radio, and the instruments like the speed and battery levels are all displayed on a thin blue acrylic screen right in front of the driver that can be adjusted for viewing. All the seats inside are sport bucket seats with highly contoured bolsters on the seat cushions and back, and when the headrests are in the down position, they line up perfectly with the upper seat and sit flush. And in the back of the front seats are 2 screens for the rear passengers. Now let's finally move on to the power output. There's a 268 horsepower single electric motor to go along with a 64 kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack that can give the car a range of 250 miles before a charge. This is about the same range as the 2008 Tesla Roadster was. Fuel economy is a gasoline equivalent of about 120 miles per gallon, and the car weighs 2,650 pounds. The ZEO can zip 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds, which is around the same time as the 5.7-liter Hemi engines, and hits a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Chrysler claims this car has operating costs of just 3 cents per mile. I have to say that this is one pretty sweet ride. This ride packs punch with great looks, style, decent performance, and an amazing interior. These would probably sell very well as a competitor to things like the Chevy Volt, or even a cheaper option to a Tesla. Especially at the time, if Dodge had actually released this thing, they might have had a first mover advantage before the rest of the world started pumping out tons of electric vehicles. Surprisingly, we still don't have an electric car from Chrysler 10 years later. Well, you've made it to the end of the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing these concept cars. I definitely think it's fun to see the ideas that Chrysler comes up with. Let me know which one was your favorite out of the PowerBox, Super 8 Hemi, Sling Shot, and ZEO. If you want more parts to the series, or even a branch out to Chrysler or Jeep concept cars, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe for more Mopar and car content, and I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.